Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, do me a favor, take a moment out of, I know it's repetitive and all, but I'm reminded to say so. If you could take a moment out, support the channel, guys, click a like. Again, it only takes a second. It doesn't cost you any money. All it takes is 1 second to support the channel, and hopefully I can reciprocate on a day-to-day basis. So, after yesterday's drip, and I think that's the way I described it, yesterday's action felt like the drip on the back of your throat right before you were about to get sick. That's what it felt like. It felt like the market was slowing down. It felt like the buyers were getting a little bit lethargic, a little bit complacent. It felt a little bit heavy. And when the market opened up today, right before the market opened up today, I really didn't have a lot of expectations. I really did not. If you guys remember, if you guys watched last night's video, I felt like buying anything into strength, right? Into strength would have been kind of a mistake just because of what we saw, what we talked about yesterday. But I still believe in the idea of stocks coming out of middle ranges, stocks with option flow. So the point was, yeah, I'll still participate on the upside. I still think there's a lot of value to the upside, but anything that was heavy yesterday, just kind of leave alone. And when you look at the market's value in the morning, it really started playing out like that. And you saw the really strong names, like the Metas of the world, right, get hit, like the Amazons of the world, right, get hit, right, get hit. You had Micron, getting hit. These things up. Okay, so we read the market the right way. We read the market the right way. Let's just relax. Let's see if we have some good value. And let's see if the options market can dictate what happens next. That's very, very important. Now, like I've been saying this all the time. We're not trying to be right on a day-to-day basis. We're trying to just take the value, right? Take the value, take the data that the market's giving us and put an opinion on the next day. And so far, the market was playing out exactly how we talked about. And I said, all right, maybe the market will give us a couple of days worth of rest. Let's see what else is going on. And then slowly but surely, the beta names did absolutely nothing, right? For the exception of Tesla. We'll get to Tesla in a second. I think today was a very interesting session from the point of headlines. Number one, you had more data come out, CPI yesterday, PPI today. But the interesting part of the day was what happened in the middle of the morning. So if you guys were trading today, maybe some of you guys weren't, but for most of you guys, I'm assuming if you watch this broadcast, you're active traders. At some point, you noticed there was a pretty big dump here in the morning. And you realize, well, what the hell is going on here? Apparently, the New York Times ran an article that was suggesting that Trump's office or the Trump administration is drafting a letter to fire, right, Jerome Powell. Obviously, that was a big deal. The market started aggressively selling off. And then, the Trump administration basically refuted that. I mean, look, everybody knows they hate each other. And Trump has been talking about the potential of, the guy resigning, and he said, I'm never going to resign. And, he wants the rate cuts, and Powell's not giving us the rate cuts. So there's a lot of friction, right? There's a lot of not great blood there. I don't want to say bad blood, but not great blood. But the idea of Trump firing Powell kind of sent the market, spiraling down. And then really, really quickly, the market came right back. So again, like we talked about yesterday, nobody's calling for price destruction. Nobody's calling for a blow off top. Again, when you look at the market on a phase of multiple sequences, price discovery, you always want to make a determination if you're looking at the market the right way. This morning and this afternoon kind of showed me that I am, at least for now, looking at the market the right way. All these high flyers that had big runs, I'm not buying into strength. Again, you can see what happened to Apple today. If you bought Apple into strength today, I mean, look at the move here. You bought Apple into strength in the morning, got absolutely murdered. So there's a lot of names that looked great in the morning on strength, but the same thing kept on happening. They kept on getting pulled back. for the exception of a couple of stocks. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So here were the pivots for the day, right? Here are the pivots of the day. And this was obviously, I can't even say Tesla was the biggest pivot of the day. It might turn into the biggest pivot of the day, but not yet, right? Not yet. So initially, I was looking at Tesla and I said, well, if it loses yesterday's low, right? If it loses yesterday's low, I think it could flush. However, right, we always talk about it, always be prepared for both sides. So I go, look, there's a two-sided scenario for experienced traders only. 313.55 is the pre-market highs. If it builds and confirms above the three market highs, the stock could spike. Now you're going to ask, well, why was 355 significant? Well, look at the 60-minute view. And again, if you trade the PS60 theory, you know that we trade something called sneaky pivots. So if you look at the high here, it was 1340s. If you look at the pre-market high right here, it was 1355. So Tesla got back above 1355 and started going absolutely crazy. And for a moment, reclaimed the 50-day moving average. Buyers were coming in very, very aggressively. Stock went basically from 313.5 all the way to 323.5. The key now is the stock needs to confirm today's price action. If tomorrow it could get above today's price action, the stock should really, really go. We saw massive, massive order flow coming in, guys. 330 weeklies, 335s for next week's. We saw a buyer come in for the 380s for August. As everybody knows, they have earnings next week. There was a pretty violent dump into the close, right? You can see the volume here. Pretty aggressive dump into the close, which I'm not really, really thrilled about. But if they could clean up whatever seller there is after hours and they could get it back above today's range and confirm the 50-day moving average. Again, guys, look at the last time it got back above the 50-day moving average. The stock went from 259 all the way up to 367. So it's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal. So tomorrow is going to be a massive, massive day for Tesla longs. If they could get back and solidify the 50-day moving average, it could go Tesla, right? So that's that. So big, big move on Tesla. Robinhood, right? Robinhood, 101.89 needs to confirm. Buyers were coming in pretty aggressively on Robinhood today. We saw some 105 weeklies. We saw some 110s. You can see it took out the 101.89, traded up to nearly 105. Really, really nice move on Robinhood. AES didn't do anything. It got to like 1345 and kind of died on a vine. Lucid, it didn't do anything, but guys, keep an eye on Lucid for you guys who trade these smaller cap stocks. Needs to get above 240. Again, I don't mind giving you the price, not a really big deal, but this was the big one, right? This was the big one. I don't know if I can't even remember if we even talked about CRCL on last night's video, but 205, 206.80 is the next two levels, needs to confirm. A buyer stepped in yesterday with it wasn't 200 weeklies. It was the 220 weeklies. It was the 220s, not the 200s. It was the 220 weeklies, and CRCL went out of its mind. I mean, I think that's the best way of saying it. So it got back above this 205, the 206.80, and traded all the way up to 240. Congratulations again. Congratulations for all you guys who caught Circle. I mean, extraordinary move. Absolutely extraordinary move. SanDisk, we talked about SanDisk last night. If it lost the 50-day moving average, 41.46 is the 50-day. If it confirms down, could get hit. Here was SanDisk, right? It lost the 41.45, traded all the way down to 40.30, about $1 move until it started snapping back with the rest of the market. ACHR, again, this is what we talk about, guys. The option flow is the key. ACHR 1167 needs to build. Repeat buyers were coming in today for the August $15 calls. So here was ACHR. It got back above the 1167 trading area and traded all the way up to 1220. Looks good, man. Looks good for more continuation. You can see the expanding volume the last couple of days. So that was good as well. And I believe that is it, right? I believe that is it. I believe that is it. I believe that is it. I go at 216 on Circle. I said it was incredible. This thing went to nearly 240. So absolutely incredible move. Congratulations for all you guys if it came in tomorrow. So the key for tomorrow is, does this scenario that we talked about yesterday, potential tiring of stocks, does that continue? Because remember, if you have a rolling, and again, I don't want to use the word rolling top, but that's the only kind of word I want to know, at least rolling pause. If you're going to get any type of rolling pause, right? Because that's what we kind of had here the last time in February, right? There's like several days we had the same type of price action, and then finally the market gave it up. So if that's going to happen, it's going to happen over the next couple of days. So keep in mind, keep an eye on if NVIDIA stops rallying, if Microsoft again just can't rally, if Meta can't rally, then everything that I've been talking about for the last 24 hours might play out. And again, I really reiterate the point: stick to the stocks that are coming off the bottom channels, guys. What do all these things have in common, right? What does the Tesla move today had in common? It's coming off the bottom. What does Circle have in common, right? It's coming off the bottom range. It's not coming off the top. It's coming off the bottom range, right? Same thing with ACHR. Where is it coming from, right? Where is it coming from? It's coming from a bottom range. So stick to those stocks and you should be okay. So let me give you guys some ideas for tomorrow. Okay, let me give you guys some ideas for tomorrow. Obviously, the number one idea is if Tesla could just get back above today's range, I think it could produce a really, really big move, second day move. So that's obviously the first one. Watch RGTI, big move today, broke out today above the May highs. Keep an eye on this thing above today's range for a potential second day run. OKLO, they were coming for some near-term $70 calls. It's attempting to break out here. Only reason why it stopped above the upper Bollinger Band. If it reclaims back this upper Bollinger Band and confirms the June highs, this thing could start waking up for another day two run. So keep an eye on that. HIMS, right? HIMS is also having a hard time getting back above the 50-day moving average, right? It's having a very, very hard time. In this type of environment, like we talk about, again, I'm not really looking at the stocks come off the top, but I'm looking at the stocks that come off the bottom. So I want to watch HIMS. HIMS usually is a big runner when they're starting to come in with short-term expiration call buyers, deep out of the money calls. I want to watch HIMS for the next couple of days. If they could get back above, you see how it keeps on getting rejected off this blue line? That's the 50-day. If it could get back above the 50-day moving average, this thing could wake up as well. So keep an eye on that as well. And just in case the market turns to the downside tomorrow and there is a pull, you see how Amazon keeps on holding the 10-day moving average, held it once, held it twice, held it a third time today. If the market gets pulled tomorrow and it's heavy, I want to watch Amazon below the 10-day moving average for a potential continuation flush like it did today. So that's it, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. If you are interested in pivots, guys, again, all you need to do is spend 30 days in the webinar, see if it's a right fit for you. Again, I've been saying this for years and years and years. I don't think it's a right fit for everybody. But if this is something that you have an open mind to, all it takes is 30 days to see the coolness of the power of the pivot. Guys, have a great night, everybody. Stay blessed, and I will see you all tomorrow.